Hello folks and welcome back. On this episode we're going to cover taking the Casita travel trailer out of storage and getting it ready for a trip. Well, let's go ahead and get started here. We're at the storage facility and the first thing we got to obviously do is take our cover off. Hey folks, well we've got the cover off. Just as a note here, if you're doing it by yourself, use a ladder. But now we're going to do a walk around. We'll look at everything for the hitch here, make sure everything looks solid, looks like it's in place, no problems with it. Walk down the side, we're going to check all our caps. We're going to make sure everything's done. One thing we have to do is put our batteries back in our temperature pressure monitoring system, TPMS, for our tires. So we'll go ahead and do that. And while we're down here, just look underneath your trailer, look at your frame. Make sure there's no wires, no pipes or anything hanging down. Make sure everything looks solid. You're going to check and make sure that your tires are good here. Just make sure you put the caps back on tight on these pressure monitors so that they don't leak. We're going to check our water heater here and our little doors, make sure they're all closed and sealed up. We're going to check the camera on the back. We're going to check the bumper on the back, make sure everything's intact there. Put our battery in the TPMS on this side. Here again, you're going to check your tires. We're looking at the lugs. We're looking at our tread. You're looking at your grease fitting cap there. Make sure there's no anything coming out of your hubs or anything. We're going to check all the access panels on the door on this side of the trailer. Basically, what you're looking for is just make sure nothing was damaged while it was in storage. And the last thing we're going to do here before we go in is actually turn on the propane gas. Now, once we go in the trailer, we're obviously going to be smelling to see if we can smell any leaking of the propane gas. We're going to start closing up the doors here and go inside and get ready to check everything on the inside. In the bathroom here, I leave the little cabinet open down here. This is so it all dries out good while the trailer's in storage. I shut the bathroom door and I leave the refrigerator door open and close it. And we'll come over here and we'll just look around, see if everything looks good. We're still monitoring to make sure we don't smell any propane, make sure the propane alarm's not going off. After we give it about 5 or 10 minutes of this, we'll go ahead and turn the propane off. And then the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and just turn our battery back on. We'll take our key here that goes to it. We'll put it in the little connector down here and we turn our battery power on. Then we'll check our solar panel controller and then we'll, all the way down here, check our furnace. And the last thing we're going to do here before we actually load up the trailer and take it to the house to put all everything in it is we'll put our damper up. You'll see I keep one bucket in the bathroom and then I keep one out here in the main cabin of the RV. Living in Florida where it's so humid, we definitely need to use the damper in. So we've got everything checked now. We can go ahead and hook it up to the Jeep and take it to the house to load it. As you can see here, we've got the trailer hooked to the Jeep, and as we were hooking it up, we were double checking the hitch here, looking for anything rusted or worn. We'll do one final walk around the trailer here. We're going to stop in the back here and check our brake lights and our tail lights. It's real hard to see in the bright sunlight here with the camera, but they are working. And then I'll use my remote for the Jeep to check the brake lights. You can barely see them flash there in the sunlight, but I promise you they're working. Then we'll walk down the other side, we'll check it again, we'll stop, and the final thing we'll do here is we'll double check our hitch again from this side, make sure that everything looks good. As you can see here, we got Cassie back to the house and we've already hooked up power to it. I've already turned the refrigerator on the inside. I went through, I checked every light, turned all my lights on, made sure everything works. I've checked everything electrically into each individual component to make sure it's working. The biggest thing though is to turn this refrigerator on right away so that it starts cooling down. And then another trick that I do is I'll put ice packs in the refrigerator in here in the freezer to actually help it cool down quicker. Now that I've checked all my electrical and make sure all of it's working, we'll go ahead and do the water system. First thing we do on our water system is fill up our water tank. We're going to fill it up to about 3/4 of a tank. You can see it right there. And we use our little adapter here. If you want links to the little adapter here, it's on our website under items we use. Alright, we'll put our adapter back in the cabinet here where we keep it, and we'll go inside and check the water systems. Now that we have water in our water tank, we'll go ahead and turn our pump on here. and then we'll open our cold water and we'll let it pump all the air out of the system, and you'll see it catch up and blow the air out here. And then once we've got all the air out of the cold water side, we'll do the same with the hot water side. And then once we're finished with that, we'll go in the bathroom and do the sink in the bathroom. And then after we're done with that, we'll do the toilet. Now that we've got all the air out of the lines, I'm going to go ahead and leave the pump on. I've got to put the camera down at this portion. And I'm actually going to crawl under the cabinet and under the bed on the driver's side. And I'm going to check all of the plumbing lines, physically look at every single one of them, make sure there's no leaks in any of them. Now that I've verified the integrity of the water system, I've gone outside, turned the gas on. You can see here I've got the water heater on now, and it's lit, and I'm going to let it come up to temperature and verify that it's working properly. I'm also going to go outside and actually physically check the water heater. You should be able to hear it, and you should be able to feel heat coming out of the vent here, which I do. And while we're waiting on our water heater to come up temperature, we'll go ahead and check our furnace and our air conditioning and our electric heat on the air conditioner. Now that we've verified all the systems in the trailer, we've turned everything off with the exception of the electrical and the refrigerator. We've loaded the Jeep here with everything we need. We've got our chairs, we've got our Coleman stove, our grill, our mat to go in front of the trailer, even got our Christmas lights in here. So we're ready to go. Just got to load the trailer with the clothes and food, and we'll be out of here in the morning. One thing I did forget to cover is our propane tanks and how much propane we have. I do know for a fact our tanks are full, both of them. We do have a propane system on board that monitors how much is in the tank, and we do have a video coming out soon that shows you how we use that system, and we also cover the entire propane system. So with that being said, we want to thank you for watching. We appreciate your support, and we invite you to check out our channel membership. And until the next video, safe travels.